If everyone would bow their head, we'll ask for God's blessing on this wonderful event. Whose woods these are, we know they are God's gift to us. We thank you, dear Lord, for making yourself so powerfully known to us through these beautiful trees and our years at St. Mary of the Woods College. We thank you that we know your love and that of your mother. We always be with, will, your love will always be with us below. We have encircled our fingers with these rings as our hearts are encircled with the unconditional love each of us has from our dear Lord. Our rings are a visible sign of our pledge to you that we will spread your love through our own life journey. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep. We pledge to know as we journey through some of the dark times in our lives that we still have miles to go and promises to keep, and that we will be always aware of your presence with us. By your grace, we will stay focused on the lovely gift of spending eternity with you. Also, dear Father, we praise and thank you for the gift of Saint Mother Theodore Guerin, who spread your love in these woods and made them holy ground. Many have walked these paths, journeying closer to you. They have pledged promises to keep as they grow in their personal relationship to you. We will always be grateful for the holy ground we walked during our time at St. Mary of the Woods. If you could all join me and bless us, O Lord, and these thy gifts, which we are about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Okay. Okay, so there are a couple of recognitions that are left this evening, and they are actually very special. I think you have heard the names Margaret and Dorothy quite a few times tonight, and I hope for everyone who wears the ring that they were aware of the two students who designed the ring 100 years ago. You know, they were more than just ring designers, though. They weren't really that different from what today's student is. I went through and I did some research and I was looking into it, and I think you might find it interesting to know that these ladies, among many, like a page and a half of things, they were Aurora contributors. I know there are many Aurora contributors here in the room tonight. The chair of the Society of Letters. They worked on the yearbook staff, and they were business managers for the college newspaper at the time. We had a member of the National Council of Catholic Women, and yes, Scotty, even the Exponents, a mathematical society, was on their resume. Right. Dorothy was an athlete. Dorothy was a member of the 1921 varsity basketball team. She was a teammate of Sister Mary Joseph Pomeroy. Mm-hmm. Right. And she played in and won the first intercollegiate women's basketball game in Indiana versus a small school from across the river that is now known as Indiana State. Your ring designer did that. We won. Yes, she played in and won the game. So, how different were they from our students? Not very. But what makes them stand out is the mark that they left, that so many of us proudly wear. Dorothy designed the SMW monogram, and Margaret designed the oak leaf and acorn base that holds our class year and for graduate students, the program from which to graduate. And in recognition of their contribution that is so outstanding, the college is now changing the name of the Ring Fund that we use every year, It is now the Margaret Williams Mead Class of 1922 and Dorothy Helm Geisel Class of 1923 Woods Ring Scholarship Fund. Just rolls off the tongue, right? So, yes, it's a mouthful. We will grow to know it as the Mead Geisel Ring Fund. Much easier. So, yes. But Dottie talked about this. Dottie mentioned that, yes, this evening has helped us to install that beautiful sculpture that will commemorate our 100th anniversary of the Woods Ring. But this night also created scholarship dollars. We have more than $50,000 that will go into this scholarship fund. I cannot tell you what a different, I know, I see you. I cannot tell you what a difference this will make in supporting students who have financial need and how many students do not receive the ring that they have earned because they cannot afford it. I serve on the Legacy Ring and Scholarship Selection Committee, and it's a very rewarding experience, but it can also be a very difficult experience, very emotional. And I know that many of my fellow committee members are here tonight, and they are certainly celebrating the fact that we have this much money that will last a very long time to help these students. They absolutely have to agree that this is an amazing gift that will mean so much to so many students in the future. Thank you. Okay, I said a couple things. So now we move to a most beloved class. I think you've heard them mentioned a couple times. If you look at the screens, you will see the graduation picture of the class of 1962 standing in front of the Conservatory of Music. The class of 1962 is deeply woven into our ring tradition. Their contributions of what we know today simply as the ring song, it will be incorporated into the sculpture. It will be entirely inscribed in the back of that SMW onyx center marker stone. But do you know the ring story? I, for almost 25 years, thought I knew the story until I really started talking with members of the class of 1962, and I can assure you that you probably don't know it all. Every good storyteller will tell you that you hook them with, but wait, there's more, and that is the truth of the story. So most of us know that the class of 1962 created the song using the melody of Tara's theme from the 1939 classic Gone with the Wind, which was a very smart choice, Judy. That was an Oscar-nominated original score. It did make it a little difficult. So the meaningful lyrics were inspired by Robert Frost's poem, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. Interesting note, Frost penned the poem in 1922, and it was published in 1923. Providence? As Emily said, traditions evolve. At the time when the class of 1962 received their rings, the junior class created their own song. And they sang it after they received their rings. They sang it to the senior class, who then responded by singing a song to them. That is just lovely, right? And to all my junior class officers, could you believe if we had to do that too? No. So there was a large group present. I know that for sure. There was a large group present at the writing of the song. However, there were about 6 classmates who actually are credited with the creation of the ring song. And they are Ellen Goodrich Bondi, Barbara Muffet Curran, Patricia Curran Donato, Margaret Pisac Plumpkin, Madeline Honingford Rowe, and Tracy Johnson Shear. Unfortunately, many of them are no longer with us. But wait, did you know that the original ring song from 1961 did not include the ending that we all love so much? Their song did not include the Bells of St. Mary's. At some point, it was added on, and that is a date that I cannot quite figure out. So if anyone knows, please see me afterwards. And if you have any leads, I'd appreciate that. Also, It did not immediately become the college song. Many people, and I have found it written in many places throughout documentation in the college, they sang it in 1961. In 1962, the class of 63 wrote their own song. In 1963, the class of 64, 62's little sister class, and many present this evening, they asked their big sister class if they could borrow their song because they loved it so much, rather than writing their own. Of course, they said yes. And then the class of 1965 also said, we love this song, and so on and so forth for, let's say, 60 years. So it became our song, but it was their song. And yes, there's more. I'm sorry. Sel Hammett, the class of 62, she was also a member of the Board of Trustees from 1976 to 1988. And she really wanted to be here tonight and regrets that she is missing this evening. But the reason that we know this is the song from the class of 1962 is because when Sel was a trustee, she spoke with then President Sister Barbara Doherty and said, you sing this all the time. This is your song at the college. Do you know where it came from? So she told Sister Barbara the story. She did not know. And she said, I would simply request that any time it is sung or the lyrics are written, that the class of 1962 be given credit. To which Sister Barbara said, of course. So I knew that. And then this week, while going through files preparing for things tonight, I found the actual memo from Sister Barbara to 3 staff members, and 2 of whom are present. Liz Tuttle and Sister Joanne Holding received the memo from Sister Barbara that said, forevermore, the ring song will be credited to the class of 1962. So, in appreciation for this, what's the right word? I literally have the word highlight, significant, outstanding, amazing, remarkable, for this contribution to St. Mary of the Woods College. The sculpture will now be known, the sculpture area will now be known as the class of 1962 Ring Garden. This bronze plaque will be laid in the concrete sidewalk, marking this space and recognizing the part that the class of 1962 has played in the history and the culture of the Woods and her students. Their song, our song, has passed through the gates and filled so many lives. It's at weddings, it's at alumni club events, it is everywhere. It is not just at St. Mary of the Woods College. I had the pleasure of speaking. You can see in the image the little brown square. That is where the marker will be. So I had the pleasure of speaking with many members of the class of 62 who are disappointed that they are not here, but they really wanted to, in their absence, show their support for this recognition. They did not know that any of this was happening, but the celebration, I should say. The class itself initiated a legacy ring drive. The class agent, Beth O'Connell, and the class secretary, Gail Westhoven, have encouraged their friends and classmates to sign a letter of intent to make an arrangement to return their rings to St. Mary of the Woods College through their estate. Several have already made that commitment and submitted the documents, and I assume that many more will come. And that document is actually available on the website now. So I appreciate the concept that the class came to, and it's there. So, Judy, I would love to invite you to come up and say a few words about the class of 1962.
I wasn't prepared for this, but it was an incredible class, and I was fortunate to be suite mates with 3 of the people that wrote the song, and they were all journalism majors. So Sister Jean Nurley, and as when we were there, was Sister Mary Gregory, certainly had a part of this, and you all know Sister Jean Nurley, the sports center is named after her, and what, you know, and but when I am here today, I was here in May for my 60th reunion, and there's still such tradition here that you feel even 60 years later. But I must also say there's a lot of changes. But I think that's beautiful because it's growing with the times and where we are today. One that I just realized tonight when I was when we were here, only seniors second semester could have a car. So when we would go to town for a movie or whatever, we took a Greyhound bus. I mean, and so you had to just go at one certain time and come home at one certain time because that's the only time it ran. So now I hear that all students are allowed to have cars, and that's why you had to enlarge the parking lot. So, and to say something to the sisters, um, when we were here, the sisters wore habits, and we loved your rosaries because we could hear them coming. And that they probably don't know how many times that saved a student. So I wish more of my classmates were here. We did have 20 here, which I thought was wonderful at our 60th reunion. And I know I've gotten so many calls from so many of them, and they wish they could be here, but it's just not feasible for some of them to come so far. But they will be so delighted and touched with this new monument. We, from the class of 62, thank you very, very much.
We have some students that are going to be moving through the room here. We have a special gift for everyone who attended this evening, and they're going to be bringing them to your table. Please help them in helping to pass them out because it's a little hard to traverse through all the tables and chairs. A commemorative book has been created that we have gone through all of our archive photos and sharing the stories, and it's a very nice keepsake for you to have, and we will have some additional available. We'll talk about that another time, but this is a way for us to say thank you for being here and being a part of this, and it really does, again, mark this moment in time with pictures and stories. So a very special thank you to BJ Riley and Christy Fry. The marketing and communication team really led the effort on this one, so thank you. So we are nearing the conclusion, and we obviously have so much to celebrate at St. Mary of the Woods College with our growth in enrollment, academic programs, our teams, and with excitement in our hearts, we step into the future while celebrating our roots this evening. And before you leave tonight, because we're going to be ending here soon, but there's a photo backdrop. So please take the opportunity to get a picture with your friends, your loved ones, new friends, old friends. That's a great backdrop. And if you are going to be attending any of the homecoming activities tomorrow, we will have that backdrop out there as well. It'll be over by Les Bois Hall. So if you miss the opportunity tonight, or if you want a fancy and a casual picture, you're going to be all set. Please feel free to take the flowers before you leave. I wanted you to know that. And before I invite Peggy McCormick Platt up to lead us in the ring song, I need to say that this evening would not have been possible without the help of many alumni, staff, and friends of St. Mary of the Woods College. It also would not have been possible without the efforts of one special person who has been a consummate cheerleader for the college and has long believed in the power and purpose of the Woods Ring, and that is Jerry Hellman. Gary served 9 years on the SMWC Board of Trustees, retiring as an emeritus board member in 2014. He then rejoined the board a year later to serve a second term. He and Mary Ann, a member of the class of 1964, have served as members of the Aspire Higher campaign committee, making significant commitments to renovate the Sacred Heart Chapel, Studio 64, the tower windows, and the 1840, formerly known as Sullivan or the Green Parlor. All of these projects are in LaFair Hall. He and Mary Ann have also given generously to name Club 64 in the Gene Nerley Sports and Recreation Center. They've provided the well-loved golf carts and well-used golf carts, and they have supported the Conservatory Take a Seat campaign. They are members of the Visionary Cumulative Gift Society and the Legacy Planned Gift Guild. Jerry received the Aspire Higher Award in 2016, and in 2022 he was honored by the Board of Trustees and President King with an honorary degree, a Doctor of Human Letters. And before we close, we have a message. It's a special message from Jerry, who is unable to join us this evening as he has been diagnosed with terminal cancer.
I received an email from Jerry Hellman on Wednesday that he wanted me to share with you this evening. My dear friends at St. Mary of the Woods College, I had ardently desired to be with you this evening to celebrate this precious ring. However, this is now not possible. My pilgrimage on this earth quickly comes to a close. The Lord calls me home to be with him and all his holy ones. This is his ultimate goal for all of us. I am ready. I respond willingly. Is this not our faith to look forward to the life of the world to come? I thank all of you for your support and contribution toward new developments for SMWC. This movement has always been close to my heart. I am blessed to have been part of this with you. May this new and greater service for our young people continue into the future, always within the Catholic vision and tradition of St. Mother Theodore Guerin. She and her many sisters who taught me, my grandfather and father who worked here as young men, and all of you have been my inspiration. My wife Mary Ann and of the class of 1964, my children and grandson, my siblings, and my many treasured friends, both here and also in Zambia, have been the greatest of gifts. I am grateful. I am at peace. May his kingdom come. Jerry Hillman.
The Ring Song was not written as a solo. And that is a wonderful thing. I'm Peggy McCormick-Platts. I'm the current president of the Alumni Association, and I have the privilege of welcoming 3 other songbirds up here with me, Ronnie O'Connor-Kinley and Nancy Beckridge and Shannon Sonderman. Please join me up here at the podium. Like we do every reunion, we close with the Ring Song. How ideal it is that we close with the Ring Song because it's both joyful, celebratory, and unifying. So I'm going to ask everyone who has a ring to please stand and join us in the Ring Song. Whose was these arms?
think I know. Her love will always be with us below. Her ring we take of us apart, and suckling fingers young, and round her heart I pledge to her a ring to keep, like woods its lovely, dark and deep. And I have miles to go, and I have promises, miles to go. The bells of St. Mary's, I hear they are calling, the young loves, the true loves that come from the sea. And so, my beloved, when red leaves are falling, the love that shall ring out for you and me. Thank you. Have a great night, and I hope to see you at all of the homecoming activities tomorrow.